Hi friends, Miss Kristi here, and I am so excited to be together again cooking in the kitchen. Today we are learning how to make egg and cheese hash brown muffins. These muffins have just 4 ingredients. They'll cook in our oven for 20 minutes and we'll make 3 muffins. We're gonna have fun making this together today, and I'm so glad you're here.
All is calm and all is bright tonight.
Now, the first step to cooking and working in the kitchen is to wash our hands. While I wash my hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds, let's go over the ingredients and supplies that you'll need to gather to cook along today. The ingredients you'll need are 2 hash brown patties, 1 egg, 3 tablespoons of shredded cheese, a pinch of salt and pepper, and cooking spray. The supplies you'll need are a muffin tin, small mixing bowl, liquid measuring cup, 1 tablespoon, a fork, a spoon, and oven mitts for safety. Okay, great. Your hands are clean and my hands are clean. We've gathered our ingredients and supplies, so let's get started making our egg and cheese hash brown muffins. These will cook in the oven for 20 minutes. So the first step is going to be to preheat our oven to 400 degrees so that way while it's warming up, we can make our muffins and put them together. So preheat the oven to 400. All right, while the oven is preheating, let's assemble our muffins to get them ready to cook in the oven. So take your small mixing bowl and place it right in front of you, and then grab your hash browns. So these are two frozen hash brown patties. We need to pop them in the microwave for a minute just to get them to warm up a little bit so that we can shred them in our bowl. So all you're gonna do is take your hash browns, place them in your small mixing bowl, and put whatever you might have had them sitting on to the side. You don't need that anymore. And now this just needs to go in the microwave for 1 minute, and then we'll take it out and we'll move on to the next step. All right, friends, so these just cooked in the microwave for a minute. Again, we wanted to warm them up a little bit so that now we can grab our fork, and we're just going to use it to break up our hash brown patties in this bowl into more of like a shredded hash brown. So all I'm gonna do is take my fork, and any method you find works, you're just going to break up these hash brown patties to make shredded hash browns. Now you could use shredded hash browns for this recipe too, but I just find using 2 hash brown patties is easier because then I know exactly how much I need instead of having to measure out hash browns. But we wanna get this shredded up a little bit. All right. Now before I add a couple more ingredients to this bowl, I just want to spray my muffin tins with our cooking spray so that when we start putting things in there and cooking them in the oven, it doesn't get all stuck to our muffin tin. So you're just gonna grab your cooking spray and the muffin tin that we had in our supply list, and I'm just gonna give this a good spray. And that way when we try to take our muffins out when they're done cooking, they don't stick to our muffin tin. So you can put your cooking spray to the side, and now just set this next to you. We're gonna use it in just a minute, but we need to add a couple more ingredients to our bowl first. So have your bowl in front of you. You can set your fork to the side. We will use that to mix everything together in a second. Grab your liquid measuring cup and your egg. I'm going to crack it in here and add some salt and pepper. That way, in case I get a shell, it doesn't end up in my potatoes, and I have a little bit more control using a liquid measuring cup. So that's all it's for today. Set your liquid measuring cup in front of you, and now we're just gonna crack our egg in here. So we just need 1 egg. Just tap it ever so lightly on the side, and then to the best of your ability, pull it open, drop it in. And at this point, if you did get any shells in the liquid measuring cup, you could scoop them out, use your fork, use your finger, and then wash your hands again. This is all the measuring cup again is for. It's just to crack our egg in there and mix our salt and pepper. Speaking of salt and pepper, go ahead and grab your salt and your pepper. And for both of these, we just need a pinch. We're just flavoring this egg up a little bit. So in order to do a pinch of salt, I'm just going to pour a little bit out on my hand. just a little mound, grab a pinch, and sprinkle it on top. And then you can just brush the rest off. Same thing with our pepper. Just gonna pour a little tiny, tiny mound on my hand. If you get too much, you can always dump a little bit back in because our hands are clean. Grab a pinch and sprinkle it on top. So that is how we get a pinch of salt and pepper. You can put your salt and pepper to the side because we are done with those. And now grab your fork, same one that we used to mix up our hash browns. And I'm just going to poke this yolk to break it up a little bit. And now we're just going to whisk this together. I'm using a fork because we already needed a fork and I didn't want to dirty a whisk, but if you want to whisk this with an actual whisk, you could do that, but a fork works well, so you're just turning it around in your measuring cup. And then all we're gonna do is add our egg to our hash browns. So put your hash browns back in front of you, and you're just going to pour the egg right on top. Now, if you make this and decide that maybe you want a little bit more egg flavor, you could always do 2 eggs. Your muffins would end up a little bit bigger, but you could do another egg if you wanted. I find that 1 egg works fine, so that's why I just used 1. You can set your liquid measuring cup to the side. You've already done with that. And now we're just gonna give this a stir because we want our egg to get mixed around in the hash browns. The egg actually helps hold them together a little bit as well, plus give us some extra protein and flavor. So I'm just going to take my fork, mix this around a little bit. All right, now comes the fun part. We get to put them into our muffin tin. So you can put your fork to the side. We're done with the fork. And let's grab our muffin tin and put that right in front of us. We have our hash browns, and now grab your 1 tablespoon. So this is the only one that we're using like this today. It says 1 TBSP, and we are gonna measure out 2 tablespoons of our hash brown mixture into each muffin cup. And we're only doing 3 muffins. So we're gonna do 2 tablespoons into 3 of our muffin tins. And they don't have to be perfect tablespoons. They can be a little bit bigger. Just trying to evenly get our mixture into our cup muffin tins here. So that's 2 in that one. And then I'm just I'm dumping it in there, and then I'm just using the back of my measuring to just push it down a little bit to make it more of a flat muffin. All right, so here's 1 in this one. All right, so 1, 2 in our next muffin. I'm just gonna push it down a little bit. And then for our last one, like I said, this would make 3 muffins. I've got 1, and let's get 1 more, 2. Now, depending on how fine you shredded up your hash browns, maybe you have a little bit extra like I do, so you could always just find your smallest muffin and add a little bit more. We don't want to waste it. So if you have a little bit of mixture left in your bowl, just add it to one of the 3 that we've already made. All right, keep your tablespoon next to you because we're gonna use that to measure our cheese, but you can put your big bowl to the side. We are done with that. And now grab your shredded cheese. Any flavor shredded cheese that you like, completely your preference. Try different flavors, see what you like better than the other, but we just need shredded cheese, and we need 3 tablespoons. We are gonna put 1 tablespoon of cheese on each of our muffins. So I'm using the same tablespoon we just used, and 1 tablespoon of cheese right on top of each of our muffins. All right, last one. All right, you can set your cheese to the side. If you have any extra cheese, you can put your tablespoon to the side. We are done with that. And now I'm just gonna use, my hands are clean, so I'm just using my finger a little bit to spread out this cheese. I want it to cover my muffin so that when we take them out, they're all cheesy and golden. But these are ready to go in the oven. So they only need to cook for 20 minutes in our oven. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set a 20-minute timer, pop these in, and as soon as our timer goes off, we will talk about getting them out and letting them cool, and then we get to try them. All right, so 20 minutes. Here we go. All right, friends, this is exciting. It's been 20 minutes and our muffins are ready to come out of the oven. So what we're gonna do now is put your oven mitts on for safety. turn off the oven, and we're gonna carefully take them out and put them on a protected surface. So like I can set mine on a cutting board. You can put them on a pot holder. We just need to let them cool for 5 minutes. So I'm gonna put my oven mitts on, turn off my oven, put them on a protected surface and let them cool for 5 minutes. All right, friends, so we have let this cool for 5 minutes. We wanted to make sure that the pan was cool to touch and that our muffins have cooled down a little bit before we start to take them out. We don't wanna burn ourselves, we don't want our muffins to fall apart. So now you can just grab your spoon, and then if you have a plate or whatever you wanna put them on to get them out of our muffin tin, I just have a little plate here, and the spoon is just to scoop them out. So you're gonna go around the side the best you can and try to get up underneath and to pop them right out. Maybe a little bit of tiny hash brown gets left behind, not a huge deal. We're just trying to get them out of our muffin tin. So I'm just going around. This is again why we let them cool, because if you start trying to touch them, when they come right out of the oven, they're gonna burn your fingers. And then we pop the last one out. And then you can put your muffin tin to the side, you can put your spoon to the side. We are done with all of that. And here we have it, our egg and cheese hash brown muffins. So all we did was mix a few ingredients in a bowl, pop them in the oven for 20 minutes, let them cool, and now we have this great little breakfast or snack that you can try. It's got protein from that egg, so it's gonna keep you a bit full. Carbohydrates from the hash browns, it's gonna give you some energy. So I think this is a great breakfast to try. So I do hope you try to make it or try and make it again. And when you do, let me know how it goes. Leave me a comment, let me know if you have any questions. You can even send me a picture of how your egg and cheese hash browns turned out. I'd love to get to see your creation, and then maybe we can share it next week. Speaking of next week, on next week's episode, which is episode 51, we are learning how to make a small batch of Puppy Chow. Puppy Chow is a fun, sweet snack that uses just 4 ingredients and our microwave, and then we end up with 2 cups of Puppy Chow. In order to cook along and make our small batch Puppy Chow, these are the ingredients that you'll need to have in your kitchen for next week. 2 cups of Rice Chex cereal, 1/3 cup of chocolate chips, 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, and 2 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter. Well, friends, our time together today is almost over. I do hope you've enjoyed learning how to make our egg and cheese hash brown muffins. I know I had fun, and I already can't wait to cook together again next time. But before you say goodbye to this episode, make sure to click subscribe if you haven't already. You just have to click the little picture of me in the corner. That way you don't miss next week's episode. It'll be out on Friday, and I'll see you then. Bye, friends. It's time to eat.